What if I told you that sometimes the only difference between where you are and where you want to be comes down to one of three things: the opportunities you have, the opportunities you take, and the opportunities that you maximize on a regular basis. I'm sure you've heard that we have the same 24 hours. And technically, that is true, but also consider this. I, as a single college student who's broke and lives with their parents, trying to grind their way to the top, does not have the same time as a single dad in his 40s who's just trying to make a living to take care of his children. You know, I do not have the same time as that guy does. In that same token, I do not have the same opportunities as, say, like a young 18-year-old girl trying to get into the service industry where they're going to put them as a host and promote them to being a server eventually, right? I'm just using that as an example. But we do not have the same 24 hours every day. So what it comes down to is the opportunities you have, the opportunities that you take, and the opportunities that you maximize. Whew. I'm gonna pause this and I'm gonna do my cardio and then I'm gonna hit get this back workout started. Now, in no way am I saying that your circumstances don't matter. But, and that's a big but, and I cannot lie, and within your circumstances, you still have choices. Within your circumstances, you still have choices, right? Sometimes those choices are going to reap phenomenal rewards, or they're going to give you terrible consequences that may fatally cost you, right? Hold on, I'm going to hit the set. No, I'm going to keep talking. They're going to fatally cost you. I have friends who, frankly, have followed their dreams when they were super young, and they have succeeded in some capacity. Okay, some of them pursued music, some of them pursued martial arts, and they're competing at a high level in the amateurs. And my music buddies, sometimes they're playing on small stages, sometimes big ones depending on where you go. But they're still they're reaping the benefits of betting on themselves. I, on the other hand, went the safer route. Okay, I decided to go to college. I decided to try to get a safer career in technology. I want to be a network engineer slash cybersecurity and professional. That's the road I chose. That's the route I chose. And sometimes I regret it. Sometimes I don't. Because I have like notebooks of comic book ideas that I haven't capitalized on. I have notes in my phone for manhwa ideas that I haven't capitalized on. And at no point, and I literally mean at no point, have I even started on any of that. My mindset was just like, I get this job, I do really well, and then I put that money into my creative sphere and hope it works out. That was my mindset. But at the cost of that, I get to see everybody else succeed a lot earlier. Um, Anywho, I'm gonna hit the set. 1 second. Uh, we're going up and weight. And I'm not
But
sitting here to say playing it safe was a bad thing. Playing it safe gave me stability. Playing it safe gives me, a little bit more options when it comes to the dreams I've been pursuing. And even in some of my friends' lives, they were telling me the same thing. So when I hyper focus on some other parts of their success, sometimes I'm not thinking about the other things that they did in order to get to where they are, right? So then I'm saying this for the people who come across this video and are at a crossroads of whether or not to follow their dreams or to just keep it safe. And you can do both. You just have to make a couple sacrifices along the way. But everything comes out of cost. Everything comes out of consequence. You know. I'm gonna hit the set down. I'm gonna talk about what I was gonna talk about. 1 second. Do, 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 do. Jesus. Okay. I also had. Oh my gosh. Jeez, that was hard. Anyway, I don't think we're going any heavier than this, but this is definitely a rank up from last time. But I had a friend of a friend who died recently. You know, they were out here drinking every night, going out often. They would do drugs of some kind. They ended up ODing and dying. And it's weird because they were my age, 21, 22. And that's something I've only heard happen in movies, only something I've read on Reddit, but actually like experiencing it in real life really puts stuff into perspective about what exactly matters. You know, it's about being smart with your choices. I also have a friend who's living with their parents, same circumstances as me, living with their parents and still not making, smart decisions. Sometimes they don't keep the jobs that they have, even if they have good jobs. They'll be bragging about how much money they're making. And my estimation, I'm guessing, they'll stop working that job for whatever reason, and they go back to living with their parents. And that's something that I could never, ever do, you know? And we'll see how that plays out. But those choices are going to have consequences in the future, and you'll never know until years later. Jesus. I tell those two stories because I've never been the type of person who was just like, yeah, I need to party more, I need to drink more, I need to do more drugs. I haven't been that type of person. And as a consequence of that, because I went out recently, that's not a secret, I never go out, because I went out often enough to where like I see why people go out. That being said, I try to remain as sober headed as possible because I know that how you spend your nights matters just as much as how you spend your money. You know, no, I'm gonna tell the story. I remember when I had a friend who, whenever he got his first check, when he first got a job out here, he wanted to spend it on to celebrate his first check. He wanted to go to this expensive restaurant for a hibachi place. Right now, when I go, it's like $50. I'm not sure what the cheaper options are, but he lived his life, trying to reward himself in the short term. And when I asked him why he does that, he blamed his mother. It's like my mom never taught me, good money skills. My mother never taught me how to manage the money well, to make those type of decisions. And as much as I was just like, that's the dumbest excuse I have ever heard, I'm still like, there's still stuff you can do today. Matter of fact, I'm gonna challenge you today. If you're watching this on your phone, if you're watching this on your computer, if you're watching this on your TV, right, you can shift your algorithm. That's literally one of the easiest things you can do. If you have a bunch of baddies on your page, just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, just click not interested at least half of those videos. Every other video you scroll on, click not interested. Okay? You'll start having a more productive algorithm. What do you feed your brain on a regular basis? Like today, I got up today and immediately when I got on TikTok, really stupid, saw the finest redhead with freckles, green eye. I think she had green eyes. I'm not sure. Blue eyes, I think. I don't know. But she was gorgeous, dude. Gorgeous every day. And I'm like, let me get up because I really want a chick who looks like that, right? But I got me up. But if that's what my feed looks like on a regular basis, and I'm just like feeding it mindlessly, I'm not being intentional with the discipline that I built up or the consistency that I've been yapping about for the last year and a half, then it means nothing, But I'm at this last set, and then we're gonna go to our next exercise. This is going to be our original number where we were at before. So hopefully we're able to do it for at least one set. But we'll see. I think 7 is all I got. But 10, 10, 7, going up in weight, that's cool. We're still getting back into it. We probably should just stuck to the 20s and see how that went. But I was rushing, trying to get to my original max for 10. So something unfortunate happened. The audio for the second half of that video was absolutely cooked. But essentially what I wanted to finish off with is one of the easiest opportunities that you can do for yourself when it comes to making the most of your opportunities is changing your algorithm. Ooh, my lips, I don't even know. Disgusting. But but one of the first things you can do is change your algorithm. First you can do is change your algorithm. You can always change your feed from, you know, anime and, you know, manhwas. Like right now, I'm watching a lot of Magic the Gathering, manhwas, and Iranian clips. Now, luckily, I have a burner account where I use, I just watch a bunch of finance videos, you know, but there's stuff that you can do today that can help reprogram your life, reprogram your mind, and has positive impacts. Has positive consequences for your life. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna leave it off with that because I completely forgot what I was trying to say for the rest of the video, and I accidentally deleted the script because I thought it was good, but I wasn't. I was an idiot. But anyway, I'm gonna hit you back later. So, goodbye. Oh yeah, triumphathletic.net, code MINT, MINT, and yeah, adios.